Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Blessings and good morning. Hello to you. Happy summer. I hope that this video meets you well. Thank you for watching this video. I am Letitia. In case you are discovering me for the first time, I am a 42-year-old millennial, homeschooling, home managing, mom of 5 children, immigrant living in the U.S. I am an intuitive light worker, poet, writer, creative, idea person, INFJ empath, and so many more things. And I just wanted to come outside and make my recording of a summer series that I'm doing entitled Today. And the whole purpose of the series is basically to ground myself in the awareness of what is going on in the external world, in the present, what is happening this summer, what is happening day by day, how are things shifting and moving and developing. Because I find that since the beginning of summer, we have, since the beginning of the second quarter of the year, the summer, we have experienced a shift in energy and a shift in our unfolding story of this moment in time, our 2025 story. And the energy it isn't what people expected it to be. It's not, nobody kind of knows what to expect. We kind of have this idea in our mind of the way things are going to unfold based on how things are unfolding day by day. Like, for instance, they passed the big ugly bill, and yesterday I saw that they also did something, pass something in the Senate and the House, if I'm understanding correctly, or approve something. I heard somebody call it a rescission. That's a new term, a new political term that I didn't learn. I never heard of before. That's a new technique or a new thing that I never knew of before. I'm constantly learning of new things and new tricks and new ways in which the political system was built to screw over the people. And the Republicans cleverly, like, brought themselves to this point. There were so many things in place, so many power structure in place, that gave them the means and opportunity to get to this point. With their clever little tricks and their ways in which they manipulate people and manipulate the system and use the system against the people, because the system was never designed for the people. It was always designed for, the rich, wealthy white man. The system was already not a good system because it was not designed for the people, and it kind of disguised itself as democracy and allowed people to think that it was a democracy, whereas it was always designed to screw over people and have people looking in the wrong direction, have people distracted, have people not know why everything is being taken from them, not understanding why they're not progressing in life, why this why it feels as though you send representatives to represent you, the people, in government, to represent to fight on your behalf for the things that you need so that you could thrive and live and take care of your family. And yet still all they do is go there, take money from lobbyists and the wealthy people, take money and sit in those seats and represent the wealthy, the rich, work on behalf of the wealthy. And the system is designed to benefit the wealthy, obviously, and is designed to make it easier for those who are helpers of the wealthy, who are represented, who are working for the wealthy, as opposed to the people, to win most of the time. So our eyes are being open to the system. Our eyes are being open, and we're learning to freaking new things every day. And if I had all the time in the world, if I wasn't, like I said, a homeschooling, home managing mother of 5, and the reason I say home managing is because I want to say that I'm like a domestic homemaking type person, but I would say that I take care of my home in terms of organizing the home and having things go as smoothly as possible. We all working together to take care of our family life, our finances, our family objectives, doing it together. I'm not really operating per se as a homemaker, but a partner. I partner with my husband and we do this shit together. So anyway, home manager. Um, so anyway, if I had all the time in the world, I would do this more studying and more reading. But the thing is about me personally is that I have an interest in a lot of things all at once. So I can't just focus my energy on learning all the ins and outs of politics. And I can't just focus my energy on learning the ins and outs of the Supreme Court and learning the history of, American political history and like going in great detail of all these things because I have a sense of curiosity about so many things at once that digging deep, digging deep and learning about things in a deeper understanding is tricky. It's hard to do because I don't have the time to do it. But what I do is I look at on the surface things, and I connect the dots and I see the patterns and I see things from the on the surface when I listen to a lot of people who take the time to do the studying, who take the time to do the learning and listening, and I listen to the people who have the capabilities to clarify it for me and make it in more understandable chunks. And what I do for anybody that would want to follow me is I tell a story of what I see from the perspective of the person that I just told you that I was, the INFJ impact person. And if you don't understand what that means, well, that's a freaking big deal to hear the perspective of an INFJ. You know, INFJ is a rare personality type. And I lean into the INFJ label because it is a significant label to help you to understand how I tell my stories and how I share my perspectives and why I share my perspectives. So what this summer series is called, like I said, it's today, and and the intention and the goal of it is to always talk about things that are happening in the current, what is happening currently, and talk about and edit it and post it on the same day. That's the goal. So I did it today, yesterday, but I also went at my mom's house yesterday and we did another really cool recording that I'm looking forward to editing and share with you. We did a tea talk. That is something that my mom often does by herself. And I did a tea talk with her. It was just a chill conversation talking about a bunch of interesting stuff. And I went by my mom's house to make spirulina capsules. So I just really took short videos of that and took some photographs because we already did a video about our first time making capsules together, and that was really cool. I used up all my spirulina capsules, so I went to go and make a new bottle of spirulina capsules. So I have 100 because I did a hundred for myself. We did 200, 100 for her, and 100 for me. So that's really cool. And some of the interesting things I saw today being the 18th of July 18th, 2025. I saw a lot of interesting things. I collected a lot of what I call screenshots of headlines and memes and things of interest that would, give people an idea of, again, the things that are happening right now. So I did that. I did that for the last 2 days, but I didn't get to record the day before yesterday, and I got to record yesterday, but I didn't record a lot about the things that I had, the things I had screenshotted and collected. I just talked about a few things because I had to go by my mom's house. But one of the interesting things that I saw and I want to talk about right now as I'm outside, I'm probably going to do part of this video outside and the other part upstairs in my serenity room. Outside was calling my name. It looked so beautiful in this patio. I knew that just coming and sitting here was going to be an experience. And it brought a song to my head. And I was like, I get these songs in my head. I don't sing them well, but I had a song in my head. Oh, think twice. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. I don't know where that song came from, but I just thought that the patio looks so beautiful. It looks so cool out here right now. It's so quiet. It's so calm. And we don't have a beautiful garden to look at, unfortunately, because we chose to just not do the garden this year. So I don't have any beautiful garden flowers or anything to look at this time around. I just have the natural look of nature, nature in her natural form, my yard in her natural form, you know, in need of a mow, but the grass isn't that high, but in need of a mow. And just the flowers that were there from before, the annuals that just come up every year on their own, the tough ones that just that do their thing, they come up on their own, they don't need any assistance. We got daylilies, I got daylilies to look at, but it's not a beautiful garden right now. It's not, and I chose not to do a garden this year. So the things, but outside was calling my names. I had to come. I had to come and listen. If you could hear the breeze, can you hear it? The cool, calm breeze just, blowing, doing its thing around me. What a beautiful energy to be in. What a beautiful energy to be in. And I have a lot to be thankful for. I have a lot to be thankful for. I feel highly favored, and I feel blessed. I feel highly favored. And I honestly, I wish that for everybody. I wish that for everybody. I don't see myself as any more special than any other human being. I see myself as unique. I see myself as I have a purpose, and my sister had spoken to me 2 days ago, and I mentioned this in a previous video where she talked about life path numbers. That there's a concept and a lesson or a taught process that I've never heard of before. And she said that she did mine, and it was number 11, and apparently it's a master number. What's so special about that number is that it's one of those like pieces where there's like this powerful destiny on somebody's life. And I've always felt like that, like there was a powerful destiny on my life. The things that I've done, and under the circumstances in which I have done them. you know i I want to tell my story, and I want to tell people I want to be an open book and share the way I think, the way I see life. And I want to be dissected, but not in a physical way, but dissected spiritually in a way that people understand me. I desperately want to be understood. That's an INFJ thing. I it's an INFJ thing. And the thing is that I want to be understood by trying so hard to communicate with all my might, with every word that I could draw from in my dialogue, and with every aspect of every visual, or every way that I could, to try to get people to understand who I am, and why I want so badly for them to understand who I am. Because I think that the things that are in here, and the things that are in here, are messages to people. You know what I mean? They're not meant to stay in here. It was never meant to stay in here. And I always try so hard, desperately, to be the best possible communicator that I can muster myself to be, and I don't think that I'm good enough. I don't think I'm a good enough communicator. I'm way better than I was, and I always say this. And it's hard for me to know if the way how I see myself is the way how other people see me as well. you know I am thinking that I'm not saying this good enough. I'm not getting the words out the way I want to, or I'm talking too much and I'm taking too long to get to the point, or the way that I communicate is just not good enough. And I always wonder if other people see me the way I see myself. How am I seen by other people? And again, my lesson of this moment is to learn how to let this shit go and just speak my message and speak my truth, and do the best I can in my communication, and do the best as I can in getting it out there. But after that, I gotta let it go. I can't worry so much about how people see me, even though I desperately want to be understood. I desperately, desperately want to be understood. It's been a thing that like I said, it's an INFJ thing to want to be understood so badly, and to feel so deeply misunderstood, because it is hard to communicate energy. It's hard to communicate. It's hard to put into words the things that we know and feel. We try as hard as possible. I try, but I always feel like I fall short, because I know that what I'm thinking and feeling is more powerful than the words that are coming out of my mouth. And sometimes they don't come out of my mouth as clearly and concise and the way I want them to. So anyway, I will go into a lot of this stuff, but the things that I'm thinking about right now is the diagnosis, the if see if I can remember it on my head, the chronic venous insufficiency, a Trump diagnosis, chronic venous insufficiency, and from what I gather, it's something to do with blood flow, and it's causing him to have these like marks on his skin because his blood isn't flowing properly, and he had, the medication, the treatment is medication for blood flow. It is like elevating your legs. It could be surgery depending on how serious it is. I'm trying to go from memory of the article, the little thing that I screenshot, the post, the ABC News post I screenshot, trying to go from memory. And it could be it could be painful and uncomfortable, which I love that for him. Painful and uncomfortable, definitely love that for him. But it's treatable, so that's interesting, and I will look into that a little bit more as I have time to sit down and really start to pay attention to things or read things. And then the one that made me feel so icky, the news that made me feel icky, is the one from CBS that CBS canceled the late night show with Stephen Colbert, and I think that timing is really effed up. I think that is definitely politically motivated. That is definitely, how to say, what these corporations and these networks have been doing is capitulating to the fascist government, the bully government, the authoritarian government for the longest time, because they want what they want. And from what I understood, Paramount got this deal that they're trying to make happen. So they're trying to do all kinds of things to capitulate to this government. I didn't read no articles. I didn't read any articles or anything like that. I just saw the headlines and stuff like that. But I could tell you the timing and who and it just feels off and icky. It feels like obedience. It feels like, again, screwing over the people. Corporations, these networks and corporations screwing over the people, and again making way for the fascists to be fascists. You know, throwing the people under the bus, because that is a symbolic move. And that move, for anybody that is paying attention, got common sense, because we know Stephen Colbert is highly critical, have been for the whole time, highly critical, sometimes of his own network, so of the Trump and MAGA. And I watched a lot of clips and a lot of Stephen Colbert in the early stages of this Trump era, because he used to help clarify a lot of things for me. But I stopped watching Stephen Colbert. I stopped watching a lot of things because I just can't constantly consume this stuff. I have other interests and other things to do, but the timing feels icky and it feels off, and I'm sure there's more stuff to talk about. Of course there's more stuff to talk about, which I will talk about in my Serenity Room, and make sure I get my facts straight. But I just wanted to come outside and spend some time with you guys outside, and I'm looking forward to seeing, I'm looking forward to seeing where things end up, how things turn out. We got to just keep the faith and trust that, at the end of the day, what is right, the truth will be revealed and it will come out, because people still talking about this Epstein. People still talking about the Epstein situation, because it seems like that's the thing that is breaking the spell for a lot of MAGA people. That is breaking the spell. I mean, another interesting thing I saw the clip. I saw somebody share this clip yesterday of the actual clip, you know. And I watched it with fascination. This Nick Fuentes guy, who is a Nazi, like a yeah, he admitted that he's a Nazi. Like, he said some terrible, deplorable things, and he said some terrible and deplorable. He was a Trump sycophant, and Trump used him to get to whatever audience, or whatever means that he used him for. He got to have a meal with the president, Nick Fuentes. This is like some sort of, this is a guy with a big, with, I don't know if he has a big platform, but he has a platform, a microphone. And he says some horrible, 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 deplorable, like I said, Nazi, misogynistic, terrible shit, you know. And he cussed out Trump yesterday, I think. Well, that's when I saw the clip. He cussed him out, called him fat, said "fuck you," and he cussed him out. That clip was very, very fascinating to watch. It was a pleasure to watch. You know, it was kind of a pleasure of him just to watch him use his horrible, horrible skills of saying deplorable things and aiming it in the direction that we you know, we need it to be aimed in, you know, in the direction of this terrible, terrible fascist dictator dude, you know. So that was very, very interesting. They got a lot of interesting things happening. It is a spiritual battle. It's a battle for the future. It's a battle for freedom. It's a battle for the new world, you know, something better than this. And that all this old structures have to die. It has to crumble. And what they're doing is they are removing the veil off over people's eyes, waking people up, making people aware of how fucked up the system has always been, but and how it was used to harm them and steal from them and take from them and make their lives harder. But now they're aiming to take every last bit of what people had gained and what people was able to gain and take for themselves and move to, you know, move towards some form of progress and freedom to thrive. They're taking every freaking thing and trying to go back to slavery and trying to you know, basically trying to just destroy everything and take everything. And I don't understand what is the means to the end. Was the gain? What is the gain? What is the aim? How is this gonna work? What is going on in people's heads? I keep asking that question. What the fuck is going on in these people's brains? What are they thinking? And I asked this question before. What is the Supreme Court thinking? What are these people thinking? Is it just plain old fear? Is it greed? What is it? But anyway, we will finish this conversation in the Serenity Room. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, so let's continue our conversation. I'm finally getting around to it. It's 3:50 p.m. on it's 3:50 p.m. on the 18th of July, and we are still in today. And I want to talk to you about a few things. I want to continue this video, continue the conversation, talk to you about my observations, what's being discussed today, what I'm, you know, just talk about today. Let's talk about today. So currently, I am feeling a little bit sleepy because I've been asleep late last night again, watching my latest Korean romance. I have fell in love with Korean romance and Korean dramas, but mostly Korean romance over the year 2025. I've started to watch it probably in February, and it is so good. It's so fun. It's so enjoyable. I love the stories. They're addictive. You have to read a lot of it. You know, every once in a while I stumble on one where there's a translation in English, so I don't have to read, but most of the time you have to be very, very focused. You have to read, but I enjoy it so much. I love them so much. I don't know what number Korean romance I'm on now, and it is a good, I don't want to use the word escape, but it's a good me activity, a good calming relaxation activity that has been a lifesaver in the year of 2025 when, like I said, the world is gone crazy, the world has gone nuts, and it has a lot of stuff happening. And you know, in the first quarter I spent a lot of time, as I've said, in myself, working on my bubble, working on my inner peace, working on my harmony, and enjoying the calm and the quiet of winter. And from the time we shifted into second quarter, quarter number two, I felt that energy shift, and I felt that things had changed. And you know, to a certain extent, I expected an ugly summer, but I'm not so sure that the summer is going to be as ugly and as scary as we think it's going to be, or we thought it's going to be. I could tell you one thing: this has not been a very good week. Last week felt like or the week before, because time's a blur. But the Supreme Court week, with all the Supreme Court wins, you know, all the news notifications that came up and said the Supreme Court allows Trump, and then with the passing of the big ugly bill, and then yesterday there's something else that passed which I don't understand, but I heard somebody call it a rescission. I have to look into that more. I haven't had the time, but I have to look into that more. What does that mean? What's a rescission? But it's a cut. It is cutting, and I don't have that information in my head, but cutting some important stuff. Cutting public television funds, funding for public television like NPR and PBS, Sesame Street and that kind of stuff, the home of Sesame Street. And it was cutting something else. I forgot what it is. But public television and something else. I forgot. I don't have the information in my head. But about a $9,000 cut, if I remember correctly. I'm working off of memory. I try not to work off of memory. When I work off of memory, I get really, really uncomfortable. That is why I usually have my computer in front of me, and I try to have the something that is screenshotted, or the reporting or whatever. I want to have other people's words in front of me, because a lot of times I am still learning, so I might not get my words right or my understanding correct. This channel is not about learning. It's not about me teaching you things that I barely know about myself. It's us learning together and figuring it out together. And I'm letting you in on the information that I'm getting and the understanding I'm getting. And there's so much things that are happening all at once right now, because the world is shifting and becoming a new world. So it's kind of like we're taking apart everything. We're dismantling everything, destroying everything, like just tackling every ounce of everything that needs to be rebuilt or reshaped or restructured or destroyed or ended or whatever. And that is the mission and the task of Trump and people in his orbit, and all of us are basically doing the same thing. It's just that we're doing it in different ways, but we are destroying an old world. We're ending an old world, and along with in partnership with planet Earth, and we are pushing for the world that we want to see. We are pushing for our world, and everybody's pushing for their vision of the world. And I believe that the people who have a vision that is in alignment with love, truth, and light and freedom, that's the vision that will ultimately win, because that's the vision that has the strongest knot, the strongest links, and the strongest foundation in darkness and going backwards and destruction and chaos and all that energy and lies and deceit and all that energy that goes with the Trump orbit. That is not a winning strategy. It is only a temporary win. You only feel as though you're winning, the illusion of winning, but it's not a winning strategy. So that's the way it is. We're all doing this together. We're all in partnership together. And while people are doing it how they're doing it, what I'm doing is working on my quest. And I've shared my quest, and I every single time I do one of these today videos, this is a summer series today, and I've shared that quest 1 is a continuation of what I said I started in at the beginning of this year, in the first quarter. Harmony, inner peace, balance, working on my aura, working on myself, and continually strengthening that bubble of protection, that light, that core, that keeps me protected and strong and connected to source, universe, God, etc., the divine, whatever the I am. And so I'm continuing on that. And I'm quest number 2, weight loss. And that's where I'm going to share my numbers with you. My number I'm paying attention to the numbers on the scale, and whether it's trending in the right direction. I continue to work on healthy eating practices, exercising, doing all the things that would help me, that would be beneficial in my quest towards weight loss. I've been working on weight loss for years, but I've never been this focused, this energized, my mindset has never been where it is at this moment. The determination has never been to this level. the absolute confidence that I'm going to do it this time. It's never been to this level, and the financial support, the support of receiving what I need in order to keep the momentum going, and the support of my husband has never been at this level. So I'm going to succeed this time. So my skill numbers today is 211. 211, that's my skill number. It's 211 pounds. And I started my weight loss journey this year at 222. So I'm at 211 now, and I'm looking forward to seeing 210. I'm excited about that. So quest number 3, YouTube growth. That's the goals. That's the quest. Seeing my subscriber count increase. And my subscriber count today on the 18th of July 2025 is 61, and I got 2 of those subscribers today. I started out this morning at 59, and then a few hours later I looked at my account and it was 61. I was very, very happy to see that. And I was like, my reaction to that is always kind of weird. It's like, I hope these people know what they sign up for. I hope that they checked out, took a look and tried and decided that I'm interested. Because one of the things I don't love too much is when somebody subscribe, quickly, not knowing what they sign up for, and then unsubscribe. It's very disappointing. It lets you down. So I am hoping that that 61 subscribers stick, and that the people that actually click that subscribe button are actually interested. They know what they signed up for. That is kind of why I'm keeping my my channel's what do you call it, the photo, I forgot what you call it, the little circle thing. I'm keeping my photograph currently with the Kamala Harris novel book, the Kamala Harris book in my hand, so that people would know, okay, well, I stand with democracy. I am a Kamala Harris supporter. I am a Biden supporter. I am a political person, a political elite aware person, and I stand for truth and love and light. And so that's the first sign. I have indicators to say what kind of account this is and what kind of person I am. I see myself as an observer of the world, an absorber, a navigator, and a deep thinker, and all that stuff. But I'm a truth speaker, and I will speak the truth in love, and I will stand in the category of love and light, and what is right, and decency, and democracy, and freedom, and free will, and joy, and peace, and gentleness, and love, and I don't know if I said love already, but etc., etc., etc. That's where I stand. So I hope that subscribers know what they sign up for. But I am now 39 away. If this number sticks, I'm now 39 subscribers away from my goal, my 2025 goal of reaching 100 subscribers. And I'm doing pretty good with my YouTube growth. It's a lot of effort and time. It's time consuming, but and I have doubts. And I have questions, and I feel weird sometimes. And I'm sweating because I had to turn off the fan so that you don't hear the fan in the background. So now I'm in my hot serenity room, my hot summer serenity room, making this recording. So that's that. So the things that are being talked about today, the main things that I am paying attention to that's being talked about today that I have an interest in, is this Trump letter that was this reporting. I didn't read it. I didn't read the reporting. I just heard, people discussing the Trump letter part of it. And I watched more than one video, but I did watch a video that broke it down in a very, not a very, seemed like a neutral kind of way, So they broke it down and tried to be fair. I might put that in that video in the description. So that's a really good one. But I've seen all kinds of takes and all kinds of got information about it. I had the letter read to me a few times, as the people that would be talking about it read the letter, and I thought the letter was weird, and I was like, did he really read that? Because it was a weird letter, and it ended weird, and it's a very strange letter. So for it to be a makeup thing, it is a weird made up thing, and I don't believe or not believe. Like I said, at this point in time, I am just an observer and letting things watching things play out as they play out. But here's some words in that letter. Like here's some phrases, some kind of, the whole thing is weird, but here's some interesting phrases like enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And then there is the letter ends with a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. It's a strange letter. It's a very, very strange letter. So I typed in the Google search Trump letter WSJ because it's a Washington Wall. It's a Wall Street Journal report, and a Wall Street Journal is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And if you know, you know. Rupert Murdoch owned a lot of media, a lot of right wing propaganda media networks and stuff, including Fox News, which I absolutely hate, and I think Fox News needs to die. I mean, like, really needs to be. Fox News needs to die in order to save America, truly. You know, he's a Trump ally. He and his network is what gave us Trump, and a lot of those gave the Republicans a safe space to lie and deceive. So feel safe to get away with, because their voters basically they put their voters in a bubble, so a lot of their voters don't really consume centrist or neutral reporting, or honest reporting. To be honest, their voters usually get skewed propaganda, deceitful information, and the Republicans bold-faced lie. I watch for myself, so it's not like I'm making it up. I've witnessed that they lie, and they lie in a bold-faced manner, and Trump emboldens them. He emboldened the energy of even being even worse with it, So here's what the AI mode in the Google search said when I typed in Trump letter WSJ. I just want to give you a little write-up of what it says, because, like I said, I don't know exactly how to say these things in the right words, and I want to get the words right. A recent Wall Street Journal report described a letter allegedly sent by Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003. The report states that Ghislaine Maxwell compiled a birthday album for Epstein, which included a letter bearing Trump's name. According to the journal, the letter contains suggestive content and a crude drawing. It reportedly concluded with "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret," according to US Today. Donald Trump has strongly denied writing the letter, calling the report fake, malicious, and defamatory. He has threatened to sue the Wall Street Journal, its parent company News Corp, and its chairman emeritus, Rupert Murdoch, over the story. The publication of this story comes amidst the ongoing controversy surrounding the handling of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein investigation. So one of my observations and my beliefs about this, and having this reporting come out in Wall Street Journal, a Rupert Murdoch owned publication, is that a lot of people that help that guy get where he is has now turned on him, or is beginning to turn on him. They're finishing off with him, and piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, they aim to knock him down. And they timed this. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the eggs. If Trump's behavior is because he knew this was coming, or if this came because it was the right moment. It was the right moment for it. I don't know. It is what it is. So the next thing that is being discussed heavily is the cancellation of the late night show, and the ending of late night TV from CBS, and apparently the DJT gloating about it, because anybody with any kind of common sense would believe that it was a political decision, even though CBS apparently said it was more like a financial decision. But they canceled a show that was high in ratings. That the ratings was very good, and it brought in a lot of money. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. But so what a lot of people are talking about on Substack is Stephen Colbert. I saw a couple of I read one actually. I'm gonna switch over this phone and show you what I see, show you what I saw. But one that says I stand with Stephen Colbert, and in May of next year will be the end of his show and the end of late night TV on CBS. And honestly, I was already done with CBS because CBS is they own Paramount, and I was watching a show on Paramount because I like the shows on Paramount. Some of them I don't watch a lot of shows on Paramount, but there's some I really like. I like some, the comedies, and I was watching Elsbeth. That wasn't really that great, but it was entertaining enough. And I was watching Elsbeth, and then I saw Christy Noem in an ad, a terrible ad, pop up on my screen. And I felt so uncomfortable with this ad. I felt angry that I was forced to watch this ad. You couldn't skip it or anything. You had to sit through this ad to get to the rest of the show. And it was an ad in regards to immigration and talking about the criminals in this country and I don't know, some, because I wasn't really listening to her, but it was terrible. It was an awful ad, and just to look at this woman and hear her voice, I muted it, so I don't know what she said. But the images were meant to scare people about immigrants and, men, big scary Latino men with tattoos and all that kind of stuff. And that made me feel like I never wanted to touch Paramount again, and I haven't since. I haven't since. You know, I haven't gone on Paramount since then because I was like, I washed my hands of Paramount. So I also stand with Stephen Colbert, but I'm glad that he's going to be set free, because I wanted to say something about that. I watched that these networks, firing their reporters and stuff like that, mostly the Democratic ones, the ones that speak out against Trump, the ones that Trump hates, firing these people and releasing them from their contracts, like Joy Reid and Don Lemon and Terry Moran, who I knew less of until what happened to him. He tweeted something against, so he posted something speaking out against what Stephen Miller was doing, speaking out against Stephen Miller. He lost his job, and Jim Acosta not continue. I don't think he was fired. He just was. They just pushed him back to graveyard shift or something like that. Terrible time slot. So he left the network, and watching these people free themselves, and then they started to build up a incredible YouTube, incredible network of their own, like incredible. They had the freedom now to create in a way that they didn't before. I love watching the evolution of Don Lemon now, and I don't watch per se, but just knowing and just watching from a distance, not really like watching his stuff. The evolution of Don Lemon and Joy Reid and Jim Acosta and Terry Moran, I think that's his name. Speaking of Terry Moran, he has a write-up here that I might possibly try to take some time to read, if I can find that title. I'm guessing based on the title that this is speaking out in regards to Stephen Colbert, the latest person to be fired from these corporations, the latest person that spoke out against Trump and spoke on behalf of the people and democracy, to be fired from these stupid corporations. The corporations will always knuckle under to Trump. So that's the title, and I might take the time to read that. Terry Moran. So watching them be set free and create their own thing, it gives me, it's more of a continuation of the signs of what's to come, the future that is coming. I watch a content creator said, the ending of the gatekeepers and I forget what the other phrase he said, the gatekeepers and the people, the ending of the gatekeepers. Let me just stick with that because I can't remember the other word. Creating, just for the freedom to speak out and create. And yes, it's going to be a little bit different because, the rules, there won't be anybody setting the rules. So it's going to require a new kind of human, a human being that is able to discern, their discernment is strong, and a more intelligent human being, a better discerning human being, a more intuitive human being, because you're going to have to be able to navigate the information sphere on your own, because there won't be anybody there won't be the gatekeepers to tell you this is true and this is a lie. You are going to have to learn how to listen to resonance and intuition and discernment on your own. And that is why, for me, priority one is that inner peace, that inner, my inner world, like the development and the strengthening and the empowerment of my inner world, my mind, my body, my spirit, taking care of my home, priority number one. And then I could do anything else in this world, but that's priority number one. That is what's helping me with number two, number three, number four, etc., etc. You know, that's what's helping me with my daily life. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch and I'm going to show you what are some of the stuff that I screenshot and try to go through it really quickly because I think this video will make you be already lengthy. Okay, so thank you for watching. All right, so just a few things that I screenshot. Well, we this morning we talked about Trump being diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. So President Trump underwent medical testing after he had been seen with deep bruises on his hand and swollen legs in recent days, and was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, whatever, said Thursday. While chronic venous insufficiency is not considered a serious medical condition and it is treatable, it can be uncomfortable or painful. The condition is very common in older adults. Treatment typically can include medication to increase blood flow, alleviating legs, minor procedures to improve blood flow, or surgery in more severe cases. And then I just copied this, I screenshot this. I didn't read it, but I screenshot it for the headline purposes. And this is an article written by somebody called David Canfield, and this is Vanity Fair. Didn't read the article. I don't know if I will, but like I said, I was just screenshotting the headline. Stephen Colbert's CBS show is canceled. Is this the death of late night? The network has called the cancellation a purely financial decision, but it feels like only the beginning of the end for an entire genre. And like I said, the world is changing. So a lot of the things that people are accustomed to, a lot of the things that was a certain way, the world was a certain way, it's no longer. All right, so this is Democracy Now! On YouTube. Coalition of Nations announces steps to hold Israel accountable. And Democracy Now! Tends to talk about things that aren't like mainstream stuff, that people should be talking about. I was looking for the beginning of that write-up, but I don't see it. The summit was organized by the Hague Group, an international effort to hold Israel accountable for violations of international law. It's in related news. Brazil, a member of the Hague Group, recently confirmed it will formally join South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. So there you go. Maureen Comey, that's the federal prosecutor that was fired by Trump, by his regime, by the Trump administration or whatever, and the daughter of FBI Director James Comey. So here we go. Maureen Comey told colleagues in a farewell email that she was fired as a federal prosecutor without being given a reason, urging co-workers not to succumb to the fear. She said her termination could cause. If a career prosecutor can be fired without reason, fear may seep into the decision, which is their intention. Fear may seep into the decision of those who remain. Comey said in her email, a copy of which was obtained by ABC News. Do not let that happen. Comey, daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, was fired Wednesday after President Donald Trump vented to subordinates about having a Comey working in his administration, sources told ABC News. So here's the quote. Fear is a tool of a tyrant wielded to suppress independent thought, Maureen Comey, in farewell email to colleagues after being fired as a federal prosecutor. So once again, this is a continuation, more of the same with the personality, the ways of Trump, because in the first administration, he had fired the twin brother of Alexander, I think is Alexander Vinman, who had testified against him in the impeachment, the first impeachment, when he got in trouble for trying to extort. I don't know what the right word is, but trying to receive a quid pro quo, establish a quid pro quo with Ukraine, because he wanted Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, or he wanted Ukraine to find dirt on Joe Biden, who was his potential opponent in the upcoming elections, to find dirt on Joe Biden, or he would withhold the weapons package or something along those lines, I might not have my details fully correct, but you get the gist. So that's just more the same of what this man does. And this is something I just copied. I stand with Stephen Colbert, and this, I just thought the image was interesting, and as well as I copied the underneath it, which had like different article titles. So CBS cancels late night show after Colbert criticizes Paramount's bribe the desk. So these are links to other articles. The awful optics of CBS canceling the late night show with Stephen Colbert, the Hollywood Reporter. Why did CBS cancel the late show with Stephen Colbert? Sounds fishy. Arizona Republic. Jimmy Kimmel, Ben Stiller, Elizabeth Warren questioned CBS decision to end the late show. Rolling Stone. Jimmy Kimmel says, fuck you, CBS, for canceling late night show with Stephen Colbert, as speculation stirs if the series is ending for political reasons. And I don't know what the link is there, because or where that quote comes from, because I didn't get that in the shot. I didn't get that in my screenshot. Okay, so there's another interesting thing. MAGA Nazi says the liberals were right. MAGA is a scam. Trump is a scam artist. So that is another Substat title. I think I mentioned that early on in this video. The person that they're referring to is Nick Fuentes. So I also copied this one because I just found it to be interesting. Solar eclipse August 2nd will bring 6 minutes of total darkness. Check date, time, and visibility areas, blah, blah, blah. I just found that to be very interesting. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end this episode of today. I hope you enjoyed it. I try my best to keep these things short, but, it takes practice. It takes practice. But remember to subscribe and like and comment and share and help me out with the algorithm, help this account to grow and help me do my thing. And thank you for watching. Love, peace, and blessings.